Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Welcome back to the desert. It is warm outside Chase Field as the Padres are back for Game 3 of a 3-game series between the Padres and the Diamondbacks. Yankees Solarte back in the lineup today for the Padres. Good night last night, 2 for 5, a single, a home run, and a couple of RBIs for the Padres. On the other side, Paul Goldschmidt ready to go for the Diamondbacks. And again, against Clayton Richard, good numbers, 360 with a home run and 5 RBIs against Richard. Padres and Diamondbacks in the finale. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, along with Mark Sweeney. Welcome to Padres baseball. Well, the Padres looking to bounce back here and salvage the final game of the series. And Clayton Richard, who's been an innings eater this year, needs to eat some today.
Well, starting pitching has been a struggle for this series, and Clayton Richard, the veteran left-hander, needs to perform well. He has done well against the Diamondbacks, and especially the recent success. His 4th career game, complete game was very important. I don't think you necessarily need that from Clayton Richard today, but you need length in this start. It's going to be really important for him to be efficient early in this ball game.
Well, he has got to go deep into this game, giving the bullpen some time off, and it'll be tough against a very good lineup again for the Diamondbacks. They are so good, and Jake Lamb last night with a couple of hits, couple of RBIs, 4 in fact, back in that lineup again.
Well, as you touched on, Paul Goldschmidt is the factor that you have to worry about, but now Jake Lamb, a compliment to Paul Goldschmidt, and you see the numbers. They speak for themselves, and he's driving runs in every single night. It seems like he has people on base, but Jake Lamb has taken his game to another level. Also has the longest home run in the game of baseball, 481 this year. So the power is there, and the RBI production is there.
Kind of different today. He's batting out of the 7th spot as they drop him down in the order. Padres trying to salvage the last game of this series, and of course the draft is right around the corner. With that coming up, we'll check in with Austin Hedges on his draft memories next on Fox Sports San Diego. Padres baseball, brought to you by Petco, where the pets go. By Car Shield. Don't strike out from a big auto repair bill. When you have Car Shield, it'll get the repair bill paid for you. Go to carshield.com. By Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich for a limited time only. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Back in the desert in Arizona for Game 3 of the three-game series. Before we get it started, let's send it down to the field and Michelle Margot.
Thanks, Don. Well, the Major League Baseball draft is just 4 days away. On Monday, the Padres have the 3rd overall pick behind the Twins and the Reds. We asked Austin Hedges some of his draft day memories. Take a listen.
That's funny. I was sleeping, actually. It was early in the morning. I thought I was going to go in the first round. I didn't go in the first round. And the second round happened early that morning, and my mom came rushing into my room and started shaking me, waking me up. You got drafted by the San Diego Padres, blah, 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 this pick. Like, oh my gosh, I was like, what? Like, at that point when I went to bed, I was like, am I even going to get drafted? Like, I guess maybe I'm going to college. I don't know what I'm going to do. So that was kind of a whirlwind of emotion.
Hedges got drafted out of J. Sarah High School in San Juan Capistrano back in 2011, which is where one of this year's top prospects, Royce Lewis, attended. You can see this prospect list here. So if Lewis is still around by the 3rd pick, you never know. There's always a chance the Padres could draft him. When we come back, it's Southpaw Thursday with Clayton Richard going for the Padres against Patrick Corbin and the Diamondbacks. First pitch coming up in just a couple of minutes. See you then.
By your always sunny San Diego Honda dealers. 101 degrees outside in Phoenix. Southwest breeze at 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy the forecast. Roof is closed for the 3rd straight game here today. It is time now to pick the stick. Saquon's Pick the Stick. Weigh in on Twitter for a chance to win a free foursome of golf, courtesy of Saquon Golf Resort. Just hashtag I'm with the last name of the broadcaster you want to join forces with. If they win, you could win too. One random winner selected nightly. Follow us at Fox Sports ST for more details. Scott Miller posting the pick from Mark Grant today as the Padres get ready for the finale of this three-game series. It's time to check out the lineup for the Padres today. Well, 3rd straight game, the Padres have had a new leadoff hitter, and today it is Jose Perella leading it off with Yangervis Solarte at 3rd base, Will Myers at 1st base, Hunter Renfroe in right, Austin Hedges doing the catching, Franchi Cordero at center with Matt Caesar in left, Chase Darno at shortstop, and Clayton Richard batting out of the 9 spot in that starting lineup for the Padres, brought to you by Toyota. On the mound today is Patrick Corbin for the D-backs.
27-year-old 2013 All-Star, and he has been struggling early in his starts, and also he's pitching for his rotation spot. Taijuan Walker is set to be activated soon, so you wonder how he is going to perform today with that type of pressure.
His 13th start of the year, coming in 4-6. First pitch of the ball game to Perella is going to miss outside. Tim Timmons has the plate today for the umpires. Perella with a good night last night, a 3-hit performance. In his second game back from El Paso with the Padres. 3 for 7 so far. Sitting at .321 in El Paso at the time of his recall by the Padres. And Corbin having trouble finding the strike zone here out of the gate.
It's going to be pretty interesting to watch Corbin. Everything has been on that left side as you see the first inning struggle. 16 runs allowed. But he typically, when in the 2013 All-Star season, he pitched into right-handed hitters. A lot of guys are saying that he is staying away with that arm side, not pitching in as much.
Going to try to get to him in the first inning, and there is ball 4 down to first base. Perella with a walk to begin the ball game here for the Padres. Well, defensively today for the Diamondbacks, left to right across the outfield, Daniel Descalso, Gregor Blanco, and Chris Owings. Third to first, Jake Lamb, Nick Ahmed, Brandon Drury, and Paul Goldschmidt, with the veteran catcher Chris Iannetta doing the catching today for Patrick Corbin. Last night we saw Jeff Mathis catch Zach Greinke in game 2 of the series. Also last night, a good night for Yangervis Solarte. 2 hits, 2 RBIs, as he will take ball 1. Well, the 2 RBIs last night, now 29 on the year for Solarte.
Consistently missing on that arm side as well. You can see Chris Iannetta even trying to pull those pitches into the strike zone. They're having a conversation, and this is what's been happening. The command has not been very good, especially when he comes from his bullpen session, warming up before the game.
Pretty big, 6'3", 210 pounds, a left-hander. Corbin coming over from the Angels in July of 2010. Torey Lovullo's club, winning the first 2 games of this 3-game series. And away again, 3-0.
2-0 changeup.
He's trying anything now just to get it over. He's an All-Star in 2013. And there's a strike. That may have been generous. 3-1. Last year, Corbin was 5-13 with a 5.15 earned run average. That last pitch was indeed generous. Here's a liner to right field. In comes Owings, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Heading for third as Perella. Throw will go in that direction, and he will be safe as he slid past the bag, but able to reach back, apparently before a tag by Lamb. So first and third with nobody out. Good start for the Padres. We'll see if the Diamondbacks going to challenge this. He did appear to come off the bag, sliding past it.
Well, he had to slide on the outside part of the bag. Very aggressive base running for Perella early in this ball game. See Torey Lovullo putting that hand up, waiting for Ron Gardenhire to check to see if they will indeed look at that.
They are going to challenge. Now the rule, now 30 seconds after the play takes place.
You see the pitch off the plate. Solarte hits this off the end of the bat, dumps it into right field, but the aggressive base running by Perella. And you see him sliding, and that left hand looks like it comes off. I wonder if he maintained that bag. It's a big play, because in the first inning you wonder the opportunity to lose your challenge early in a ball game can affect the rest of it.
Now, a lot of managers don't like challenging in the first inning. Torey Lovullo thinks that this play could be overturned. Clear and convincing evidence that the call on the field was incorrect.
Now watch the left hand. That's the first part that touches the base because he slides on the outside part of the base. Then he has to switch hands as he goes off to the right hand.
Ooh.
That is really close.
Hard to see, too. And he's out now. Wow. So it has been overturned on the field. Hand came off, and the tag was applied by Lamb. Winning the challenge are the Arizona Diamondbacks. 9-5 on the putout at third base. Perello retired and Solarte at first base. So that's a big out right there, and I guess worth the challenge here in the first inning, as it turns out, for the D-backs.
Now Chris Owings, known for being a shortstop, he has played the outfield, but running on him in that situation with nobody out, you have to be sure at third base. You don't want to make the first or third out at third.
Toughest part about that is he beat it. It's just that he went by the bag. So runner at first, one down, and Myers batting here. 255 for Will. 12 homers, 31 runs batted in. Low throw dug out by Goldschmidt. Corbin very fortunate that didn't get down the line.
Myers has pretty good numbers against Patrick Corbin. 5 hits and 12 at bats, and also has a home run. Need to get Will Myers going.
Now that average has dropped down to 255 for Will.
Well, like anything else, Don, when you're going through struggles, you're missing your pitch. And then you get into pitcher's counts, and it happens a lot to Will when he's fouling balls off. And the battle sometimes is, do you want to correct things mechanically? You don't want to necessarily tinker with too many things, especially with Will. They always ask him to be athletic and reactionary in the batter's box, not too mechanical. Alan Zinter making sure that is the process for Will Myers.
For Myers, he has struck out a lot this year. 75 strikeouts and lead the club in that category. But again, with him being the guy you're not going to let beat you in this lineup, not seeing very many good pitches.
Yeah, and that's going to be a difference. Obviously, the protection has a lot to do with it. Will they would rather face the guy behind him, which is Hunter Renfroe today? You pick your spots, and when they go through the scouting reports before the series, even if he's struggling, they want to identify that Will Myers does not beat you in big situations. Doesn't mean you don't throw to him, but you can definitely take a different approach against the veteran first baseman.
Myers leads the club in hits with 59, RBIs with 31. Another check on Solarte, a soft toss over. Myers has not really enjoyed Chase Field this year. He's only gone 4 for 27 at Chase Field. But in his career, he has liked it, a 309 average here. Full count now. Corbin has had trouble throwing strikes in this first inning. Last year, started in the rotation, ended up in the pen. Last year mentioned his record of 5-13 for Corbin a year ago. Really had some bad defense behind him. He led the majors with 20 unearned runs.
Wow. And 26 to this date, which continues to lead major leagues.
Myers will foul it off to the right. We'll do it again. Will Myers did homer off Patrick Corbin earlier this year, Petco Park in San Diego. One of Will's 12 home runs on the season. Faces him here with 1 out, 1 on in the first. Myers will take the walk and head on down to first base. Second walk of the inning given up by Corbin. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, early offense for the Padres, and that's going to be important because of the struggles that we alluded to with Patrick Corbin. Also, Clayton Richard, a lot goes on his shoulders today with the minimal work of the starters for the Padres in this series.
2 on, 1 away, and it brings up Hunter Renfroe. And the 2 home run game here in the first game of the series. 13 home runs on the year for the Padres right fielder. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. That time going to a breaking ball. Slider, I think.
Thinking about the frustrations too. Andy Green asked Hunter Renfroe to stay in the strike zone. Well, watching early in this game, Patrick Corbin has struggled with command. Going up there and swinging at a first pitch breaking ball.
Almost has to be until you throw a strike, right?
Well, it is not a problem. Obviously, runners in scoring position add to that frustration. But if your process is right, you see that pitch out of the strike zone. As you can see, Hunter Renfroe, that danger zone is down in the middle. But that's what you have to worry about. Yes, there's runners in scoring position, but you have to have the right process.
Sounds like a broken bat. It is headed into shallow center, and that's going to fall. Incoming is Blanco. Taking third is Solarte. Had to wait, was not entirely sure. Blanco got a very bad break on that ball, and I think he thought the infield was going to handle things. Yeah,
it looked like he definitely had the infielders in mind, because that first step was almost a jog. Watch Blanco in center field.
Good move initially.
And Solarte was thinking that he had that easily because it was elevated off the bat. Put a lot of pressure on Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, to hold Solarte up in that situation, because he did not get a good break off the second base. You wonder if Gregor Blanco saw the ball off the bat. You could hear the sound. It was a broken bat, so that's what you react on as an outfielder.
Well, the Padres here trying to get runs in the first off Patrick Corbin. It's been a problem, as you mentioned, Mark Sweeney. First inning runs given up coming into this game for starters across Major League Baseball. Jared Weaver had given up 17 before going on the DL for the Padres. He's number 1. Number 2 is Patrick Corbin with 16, and Masahiro Tanaka of the Yankees 14.
Wow.
First inning runs. So a chance here. The base is loaded. 1 down for Austin Hedges. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. That time going after the fastball at 94 miles an hour. Two walks in the inning, 2 base hits. So far, no runs. Perella thrown out at third base in this inning for the only out. Now grounder up the middle into center field, base hit for Hedges. Solarte will score. Here comes Will Myers, and the Padres grab a pair and take a 2-0 lead.
Well, this is huge, Don, because the Padres had to get on top. They have to play on top. They got ahead yesterday. But with Patrick Corbin and his struggles that continue in the first inning, think about where he's at and trying to get into that bullpen of the Diamondbacks early in this game.
Now taking advantage of Corbin here in the first. 2 more runs for him. That's now 18 he's allowed in the first inning. And here comes Franchy Cordero. Cordero, who led off in last night's game. That's 6th today and back out there in center field. Renfroe at second, Hedges at first. And a wild swing and a miss for Cordero, and a pitch down and away in the dirt. Next pitch will be the 25th of this inning for Corbin. There is Renfroe at second. Hedges at first. And that pitch a little bit down.
Oh, Patrick Corbin's going to feature the fastball, the slider, and changeup. He will vary the slider shapes, which, as you can see, really loves pitching to his arm side.
Yeah, he's spent a lot of this inning trying to grab that, especially right-handed hitters. A lot of work here in the first inning, not out of it yet. Only one out in the inning. First and second, 2 runs in. Not quite a shift, but they do play to pull on that right side. And a swing and a miss. Breaking ball away. He chases. First strikeout for Corbin. Franchy Cordero is out number 2 of the inning.
Well, you see the slider. Looks like the fastball, and just picking it out of the hands for Franchy Cordero in his first start against the left-hander this year.
So 2 down here in the first, and brings up Matt Caesar. 200 with a home run, 8 runs batted in, and his time between the Cubs and the Padres. Originally drafted by the Cubs. And a chopper to short. Ahmed will go to second for the force out that ends the inning. Austin Hedges driving in a pair with a single back up the middle. It gives the Padres a 2-0 lead after half an inning. After half an inning, as the Arizona Diamondbacks coming up here in the bottom of the first inning for Torey Lovullo. Gregor Blanco going to lead it off and in center field with Chris Iannetta batting second. Paul Goldschmidt at first base with Chris Owings in right field. Daniel Descalso in left with Brandon Drury at second. Jake Lamb at third. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. And Patrick Corbin batting out of the 9th spot. And on the mound for the Padres today is Clayton Richard. Gregor Blanco hitting at .266. Takes ball 1. Richard with a 2-0 lead even before taking the hill today. Blanco has a home run, 4 runs batted in to go along with that .266 average.
Well, here's a scouting report on Clayton Richard. Strike 1. Put the Diamondbacks hitters on defense today, and quick tempo in between pitches. That is when he is at his best. He's making his 7th start on the road, his 13th on the year, but continues to really pound that strike zone when he's on top of the baseball.
And it's always important for him to induce ground ball outs. That's when he's at his best.
Well, 140 of those have come this year, which leads the major leagues in inducing those ground balls. 11 double play ground balls.
His last start against Arizona, May the 21st. Lost his 3rd career complete game, 9-inning game. Fouled off. Over the last 5 starts for him, too. Pretty good strikeout to walk ratio. 25 strikeouts, only 2 walks.
Yeah, you don't necessarily think of him as a strikeout guy, but he has definitely done a much better job this year, in my opinion, attacking and getting in those situations. And I think it's the improved slider as well. He's got that different arm angle that I think you look at. It looks like he's a little more free in his delivery.
Blanco will take a ball. Wow, that looked like a pretty good pitch.
Well, Tim Timmons said that was inside. Just barely off the plate.
Here's a grounder right side. Myers will slide to his right and win the foot race to the bag. Well, it's time now to check out the Padres defensively, brought to you by Lincoln. Left to right of the outfield, Matt Caesar is out there in left field today for the Padres, with Frenchie Cordero in center, Hunter Renfroe in right. And Hervis Solarte at third with Chase Darno at shortstop. Jose Perella starting at second base with Will Myers at first, who just made that play unassisted, and Austin Hedges doing the catching, and he's already contributed with a 2-run single. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 1st inning, and it brings up Chris Iannetta. Iannetta batting second here for the Diamondbacks today, and came into the game defensively last night. Gets the start here today and play the day game after the night game. And Richard jumps ahead 0-2. Iannetta now. Paul Goldschmidt waiting on deck here for the Diamondbacks. Richard has worked 6 innings or more in 8 of his 12 starts, and that's what they're looking for here today from him, after the bullpen has really been used a lot in the first 2 games of this series.
Yeah, and I think it's thrown on the shoulders of Clayton Richard. I think he's the type of personality that enjoys that. He understands the responsibility today coming into this start, especially.
Grounder to third, Solarte. 2 down. 2 ground ball outs to start the day. Good sign for Clayton Richard.
Well, Don, as you said, he induces a lot of ground balls. The double play partnership today, Chase Darno, also Jose Perella, who normally plays the outfield. They were here early taking ground balls, just getting a feel for one another, because I think the responsibility of that chemistry between the two has to be where they like the ball and the pivot. Very important for a ground ball pitcher to know the middle infield can handle that.
2 down for Paul Goldschmidt. Jumps back out of the way of that fastball down by the shoe tops. A .305 average, 13 home runs, 45 ribbies.
You know, I think this is the matchup today that I want to take a look at. Obviously, the good numbers for Paul Goldschmidt against Clayton Richard. But how will he attack him?
If you're Clayton Richard and you've watched the offensive display the last 2 days, you got to be thinking to yourself, wow, dealing with this lineup is not going to be much fun.
Well, and I think a lot of it has to do with just being aggressive. You've seen that early in this start today with Clayton Richard, trying to attack early. Like every major league hitter is different when they have strike one. They'll expand the zone a little bit more.
Through the left side into left field, a base hit for Paul Goldschmidt. First Diamondback to be on base today. Comes with 2 outs here in the 1st inning.
Now gets into a good hitter's count and looks for that ball that's elevated. This ball's actually down. Hit very hard into left field, but again, you're seeing that movement by Clayton Richard. It's a good sign.
2 down, Goldschmidt at first, and Chris Owings the batter. .297, 7 homers, 34 runs batted in.
Sorry, Don. I didn't think, probably the Diamondbacks fans didn't think that they would see Chris Owings hitting cleanup at this part of the season. It really indicates how he has been and how he's been swinging the bat.
And he jolts it towards the gap in right center field. That's going to get down and roll a while. Goldschmidt headed for third and beyond. He is going to try and score. Throw comes plateward. Throw is high, and Goldschmidt scores all the way from first base. It's an RBI double for Chris Owings, and the Diamondbacks have cut the Padres lead in half. All of this coming with 2 down in the inning.
Well, 13th double, and watch how he attacks it. The ball is middle, but he fights his hands inside this baseball. Really good hitting by Chris Owings, and a confident right-handed hitter in the box.
So Owings at second base now, and we're talking about the different looking lineup today for Torey Lovullo, and so far it's working out very well. You got Owings in the cleanup spot where you might have expected to see Jake Lamb. He drops Lamb down to 7th now in the order. Owings cashes in here immediately with a run driven in.
Well, Jake Lamb only 1 for 8 against Clayton Richard, but you think about what his presence is in the lineup. In the middle of that order, and he has Daniel Descalso hitting ahead of him, who is also a left-handed hitter. That's when you'd probably dive into those analytics. Game break coming up. St. Louis at Cincinnati.
This is a little bloop into left that's going to fall. Here comes Owings around, and it's a 2-2 ball game. Quick answer from the Diamondbacks here in the last of the first inning.
Seems like Torey Lovullo, the manager of the Diamondbacks, has that Midas touch, especially lately. Inserting Descalso in the lineup, left-handed hitter, left on left. He benefits from dumping this into left field, and it's a tie ball game.
So Descalso now at first base, held on by Myers, 2 down, and Brandon Drury. Richard able to get Blanco to ground out to first, Iannetta to ground out to third, but since then a single, RBI double, followed by an RBI single, and it is 2-2 very quickly. Sounded like a broken bat, and doing inventory on the bat right now is Drury. And it looks like he's okay, good to go.
You know, Don, with those maple bats, and you can tell because it's got that little mark near the handle. You see on that site, it's a little white mark. You can see on the other side. There it is. Sometimes you don't realize they are broken. It's almost on the inside part, and that's when you see them blow up a little bit.
Fouled off to the right, out of play. Last night, Drury with a home run, his 5th home run of the year. All part of a 5-run 3rd inning. That's interesting. So you can't even tell that it's broken.
Yeah, you'll look down, and with an ash bat, you can see the cracks a lot easier. With a maple bat, necessarily, it usually fractures on the inside at times, and it'll just blow up on your hands. They are considered a harder bat, so a lot of players will like that. Even has a little more vibration, but you don't get the flaking that an ash bat gives you at times. And if you have a favorite bat, that's what you want to stay with.
Now, he was bouncing on the ground trying to find out whether or not it was broken. Can you tell if it's broken on the inside like that?
Yeah, sometimes you'll bang on the bottom and you'll feel like it has too much more the vibration.
There's a strikeout, and Richard needed that first K of the day. But the lead is gone. It's 2-2 now after 1. All right, Mike and Scott, thanks very much. As it is 2-2 here at the end of 1. Your thoughts, Mark Sweeney, on Mike Matheny, former teammate of yours? Yes.
Yeah, and they're really hammering the way he has managed, and unfortunately, it's because of the defense that the guys talked about down there. 12-16 in the Central alone, and this is the team that I think a lot of people figured their pitching would right the ship. It has not, and that's the reason why I think Mike Matheny is taking a lot of heat. Also, John Mabry, the hitting coach, is taking a lot of heat. And you see that a lot with teams that really don't produce at the level they had the expectations.
Well, after a terrible start, turned things around. Things got better for the Cardinals. Now they're going the other direction.
Yeah, and you see the Milwaukee Brewers. They have been a very good story. Obviously, a lot of surprise in them being in first, and the Cubs not playing consistent baseball. But St. Louis has the ability to get back on track. I think a lot of it has to do with the presence in the middle of the order. You remember having Carlos Beltran, also Matt Holliday. Those guys are gone. They're relying a lot on their younger players. Sometimes that necessarily doesn't work when you have that, when you don't have a presence in the middle of the order.
Think about the Cardinals, though. It's amazed me. It almost seems like it doesn't matter who is in their lineup year to year. They're most consistent, generally in the conversation every year. As Chase Darno strikes out. Yeah, that's second strikeout for Patrick Corbin.
Well, it's certain expectations that you have to have, but they've relied so much on their pitching. And Lance Lynn is back from Tommy John. Also Adam Wainwright. You think Martinez has to step up to the next level. That's how they have won consistently, because they've had those aces in the horse in their pitching staffs.
Clayton Richard at the plate here. 4 hits on the year, 4 for 21 at the plate. Clayton, a good athlete. This one fouled off at the plate, down 0-2. Corbin happened to be out of the first inning. That's where his problems have been.
Yeah, and you think about what the Padres had him on the ropes, and you wonder if that out at third base had a lot to do with it.
Third strikeout for Corbin. Back-to-back days here in the second. Time now for the tools of the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks.
Well, as you said earlier, Jose Perella has looked very comfortable at the top. It's a controlled setup that you see on time, getting his foot down and having everything work together. And it's a flat bat path. We hear a lot about launch angle. It's a line drive approach from Jose Perella. Last night coming in late to a game and ended up 3 for 3. Saw the RBI single there.
Walked in the first inning, getting his second look here at Corbin. One of 2 walks in the first allowed by Corbin. Down the right field line. This ball is going to be a fair ball. Headed to the right field corner. And Perella's headed for second base. He'll get himself a stand-up double with 2 outs here in the second inning. Fair ball down that right field line into the corner. And Perella aboard for the second time today.
Well, he continues to swing that hot bat. And I just love the style. It's aggressive, but a controlled aggressiveness. A slasher that slashes the ball all over the ballpark. He cruises into second base, but this ball is off the plate. Head down, and the aggressiveness on the base pass.
So 2 down. Perella in scoring position, brings up Yangervis Solarte. And aggressively jumping on that first pitch and fouling it off.
Well, to me now, you eliminate the inside part of the plate if you're a right-handed hitter. Because I think Patrick Corbin has shown already early in this game that he does not want to throw in there. So you would eliminate that until 2 strikes. So one of those process that you can have mentally, Don, is that you take that fastball that's out over the plate and you hit that ball the other way. That keeps you on that changeup and slider, puts you in a better hitting position to be able to pull that correctly.
Been a good category for Solarte on the year. 2 outs and runners in scoring position, and that's when he kind of fights off. That one was running in on him a little bit. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Yangervis down 1-2. Corbin struck out Darno and Richard back-to-back to begin the inning. Double by Perella. Has him at second base with 2 down in the inning. Strike 3 call. Well, Corbin ends up striking out the side, 4 Ks in all, tied 2-2 after an inning and a half in the desert.
managing him in the minor leagues. I think you knew he was always going to be a big leaguer. You just kind of had to get out of his way and let his skill set perform. He was a guy who came from the University of Washington, where they had him like slap balls to left field constantly, and yeah, we basically did nothing to teach him anything other than just liberate him and say, use your pull side power and go be the athlete you are, and then he did the rest.
Well, that was manager Andy Green on the potential that he saw in Jake Lamb back when he worked in the Diamondbacks organization. And manager Torey Lovello from the Diamondbacks also added that he hopes the league takes notice in Jake Lamb's performance this year and gets him to the All-Star game in Miami, guys.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. A grounder this time from Lamb that Myers gobbles up and tags the bag. And Lamb retired here for the first out of the second inning.
I think it's a no-brainer. He is going to be in the All-Star Classic, Summer Classic, and what he has done in the last two first halves. Now it's about building that resume and having a full year for Jake Lamb. Obviously the ability is there.
One out here in the second. And it brings up Nick Ahmed, making his first appearance of the series here in Game 3. Now the Diamondbacks have 19 runs scored in this series, and 15 of the 19 have come with 2 outs in an inning. That's where they've been doing their damage. Those hurt the most.
Yeah, they do, and it's their backbreakers, but also adds to the confidence of what this offense has really produced all the way through the season. They've been pretty consistent.
Lined and off the glove of Solarte. Will kick to short. Darno with a throw up and over and into the dugout. They will award second base to Ahmed. Oh, a hot shot to third. Solarte could not field cleanly. Darno thought he had a chance after it ricocheted to him, and then he overthrew it to first base up over Myers.
Well, they call this a single because you see it smash to Solarte's right. Chase Darno gets it. I don't think he had a grip of that baseball, and he rifles it over Will Myers and into the dugout.
So a hit and an error, and here is Patrick Corbin, the pitcher. .87 hitter. In his career in 5 seasons in the majors, a 162 hitter. No homers, 14 runs batted in. First plate appearance of this game. And a bluff by Richard off the backside. And Ahmed back to the bag at second. Nobody cheating in behind him. Opened up with the shoulder there, 0-2.
Well, good slider by Clayton Richard. That's been the improvement. When he gets on top of that, has such a good look, like a fastball, as that late break.
Rolls it over, foul outside of first, and we'll do it again, 0-2. Five and 2/3 effort last time out for Clayton against the Rockies. Scattered 10 hits, allowed 4 runs. 3 of them were earned with the win in that game. He's won 2 of his last 3 outings, and one of those outings, the complete game effort against these Diamondbacks. In the dirt.
Yeah, and you go back to that start against the Rockies. I thought that was a team victory because he didn't have his stuff. He grinded out those innings throwing, but also the offense backed him by coming back in that game. That goes a long way in the clubhouse.
That is strike 3, and Corbin takes with him the second strikeout for Clayton Richard. 2 down. The Diamondbacks who excel offensively, but certainly at home.
Well, Dave Magadan, the hitting coach, also Tim Laker, the assistant hitting coach, have to be pretty happy with what they are producing and the consistency of it. It really sticks out to me. They have a good process at the plate in the batter's box. They have a plan of attack, and the numbers show it.
2 down, Ahmed at second base, and Gregor Blanco. Ahmed taking off for third throw. He is not in time. Ahmed keeping his hand on the bag the entire time. Solarte kept the tag on him just in case he came off. A stolen base, and this goes along the lines of what we've seen from the Diamondbacks. They've been aggressive on the base paths.
Yeah, they continue to be aggressive, but also at third base. Typically, you don't see guys with 2 outs with a left-hander up.
Yeah, I may have misspoke there. He did come off, and I think he's out. Padres are challenging. I thought he kept the hand on the bag. He did not.
This should be pretty quick. You know why I say that is there's 2 outs. You have to be sure of yourself, of being safe at third base. You don't want to make that last out at third. But with a left-hander up, makes it easier for Austin Hedges to make that throw.
The Padres are starting to walk off the field after they have seen the replay on the big screen in center. The Pirates have not made a definitive call one way or another, but the Padres have seen everything they need to see.
This is a first for me.
Here they come.
All the fielders.
And he is now out. So overturned here. Call the field was safe. He is indeed out. As coming off the bag was Ahmed. Tag applied by Yangervis Solarte. 2-2 the score.
Fox. It all starts with the Royals battling the Padres at 1 p.m. on FS1. Then on Fox, the Orioles take on the Yankees at 4 on your local Fox station, or you can watch it live on FS Go.
Third inning, game tied 2-2. Will Myers, Hunter Renfroe, and Austin Hedges. Walks in the first inning. Came around to score the second Padres run. Austin Hedges driving in a pair in the first to give San Diego a 2-0 lead, but Diamondbacks come back with 2 of their own in the bottom of the first inning. That's where we are here in the third. Corbin had to throw a lot of pitches in the first inning, 28 total. First inning pitches. There is action in the pen. Silvino Bracho is up in the pen. So it could be a short leash today for Patrick Corbin, it appears.
Well, this tells me that they've already made that decision. Said earlier, Taijuan Walker set to come off the disabled list. Wonder if Torey Lovullo, the manager of the Diamondbacks.
Into left field, a base hit for Will Myers. Quickly by the shortstop Ahmed, and Myers on with a leadoff base hit. Second time in 3 innings. Padres have had lead runner on.
Well, his previous at bat, he saw a lot of pitches. This at bat, you can see how he attacks. The first pitch, slider. Now he's starting to go on that glove side. That's the pitch of the at bat that bought him the fastball that he pummels. See that elevated fastball, looking for it that up, but that's a good sign for Will Myers. I think it goes back to his first at bat, seeing a lot of pitches from Patrick.
Hunter Renfroe swinging at the first pitch. Skies one foul off to the right, and they'll end up in behind the Padres dugout. Well, Hunter Renfroe sitting on 13 home runs. That is second in Padres history for rookie home runs before the All-Star break. Hank Colbert had 14 back in 1969. Seems obtainable for Hunter Renfroe without a doubt.
Sure does.
Down 0-2.
Well, he's taking some healthy hacks today.
Single to center his first time up. Last 4 games, 3 home runs. 5 for 13 during that time.
That's common for most home run hitters. They come in bunches.
Corbin back in 2013 was a 14-game winner. 14-8 that year. 32 starts. Over 200 innings, 208 1/3. Line, a fair ball down towards the left field corner. Myers motoring around the bases. He is going to try and score. Throw from Ahmed at shortstop is going to be close, but it glances off of Iannetta. Backed up, throw to third is going to be late. Renfroe takes third. Padres take a 3-2 lead. Hunter Renfroe on an RBI double to left has scored Myers all the way from first, and the Padres are back on top.
Well, aggressive swings by Hunter Renfroe. This is a slider right over the middle of the plate. See, trying to drive that fastball the other way. Stays on that slider and pulls it into the corner. Now Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, winds up Will Myers. This is going to be a close play. It slides in, and Hunter Renfroe advances on the error on the throw.
If that throw got there on the fly, I think Will's out.
I do. I agree.
Myers getting in, and then on the throw, Renfroe takes third base. Now the infield in is Hedges. Fouls it off down towards the end of the Diamondbacks dugout. Austin driving in 2 with a single to center field in the first. Padres now with 6 hits in the game. The 2 RBIs in the first inning for Austin Hedges. Now has 30 on the year. Infield not all the way in. They're playing about halfway. Here on Austin Hedges. Nobody out here in the inning. And I think he went around. He did. Strike 3. That's strikeout number 5 for Patrick Corbin. Tough scoring. They have charged an error on the shortstop, Ahmed, on the throw that allowed Renfroe to get to third base.
That is tough scoring. I think to your point, Don, if he throws that in the air, he not only has Will Myers, but I think Hunter Renfroe stays at second base.
So it's a double for Renfroe. Took third on the errant throw. Frenchie Cordero down 0-2. Look at that throw from shallow left field from the shortstop. It's on target.
On target, maybe a short hop that they recognized, but
strike three call. Cordero knew it and takes with him a 6th strikeout for Corbin. Second time today that Cordero's been down by way of the K.
Heavy dose of sliders to Cordero in his first at bat, and now that one.
2 down. Renfroe at third base and Matt Caesar the batter. On the ground up the middle, ranging is Ahmed. He is thrown to first in time. Good rangy play by the Diamondbacks shortstop. Well, Hunter Renfroe with a double down in the left field corner. Scores Will Myers all the way from first base and gives the Padres a 3-2 lead after 2.5. Baseball brought to you by Sycuan Casino. Sign up for the Padres Club Card today. By the all-new 2017 Subaru Impreza. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru. And by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proud partner of the San Diego Padres. Now the pitch going to miss here to the leadoff hitter Gregor Blanco. Count is 2-0. Blanco grounded out to first base in the first inning. Second time through this Diamondbacks order for Clayton Richard.
You ever been tubing down the river?
Not in a while. It's been, actually, you know what? I don't think I ever have, to be honest with you.
I did it in Boise, Idaho. I'll never forget it. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. We're going down the river. The water was freezing. That was not fun.
But aren't there like rocks and stuff along the way that you can hit yourself on?
Yeah, and I got a big caboose. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's large.
Yeah.
And it gets under that inner tube. Yeah, you got to watch out for the rocks.
The stuff is under there. Right? And on the sides.
It's not good.
Did you wear a helmet or anything? Or
I
no?
should have.
Yeah.
I should have. Listen, when you're going down there, there's some rapids involved as well. It's a reason why you're going down the river. But I was noticeably cold on a hot day.
There's a swing and a miss, and Blanco strikes out. That's 3 Ks now for Richard. I had an unfortunate thing happen in the pool in Texas a couple weeks ago.
What happened?
Well, they had rafts there, and they have kind of a lazy river in Texas at the pool. And I mean, this is not rapids. This is like barely moving.
Yeah, I like those.
Especially when you're large, you don't move at all. And the rafts weren't that big. I was trying to get on the raft, and part of our crew, our great coordinating producer, Max Michelin,
he's
took
phenomenal.
a photo of me on this raft, half on, half off. To third, Solarte crossed the diamond. Bad throw, but Myers there to apply the tag. So if I were ever going to do that down the Salt River thing, I would do it with none of our production crew from Fox Sports San Diego in the neighborhood.
Yeah, because they tend to get on air, don't they?
It's amazing how it gets on air.
It's not a comfortable feeling.
No.
When you know that they have the ability to do whatever they want and put on air.
And add stuff to it. I mean, it ended up in with a whale or a tuna or something.
That's not good.
No.
Because there's a lot of photoshopping going around our crew.
It's gonna hurt my feelings, truth be told. 2 outs here in the third. Paul Goldschmidt a single, first time up to left field. Here it is.
Oh my!
That's the pool in Texas. I am relaxing, enjoying myself, bronzing, and look, they add whatever that is. Is that a whale?
I was strictly focused on the raft.
Yeah. They should make rafts bigger. They don't make rafts like they used to. That should hold you.
They're shortchanging you for sure.
All of you, you know, not part of you, all of you.
You're supposed to be elevated over the water.
So you asked if I've been rafting, and I think it was I probably should.
So I brought up some demons.
Yeah.
Well, don't go down the regular river either.
No.
Because they will get a picture. Probably send up a drone and get a video of what you're doing.
Foul down the right field line out of play off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt. Batting with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Padres with the newfound lead. And top 3-2. Paul Goldschmidt in his career against San Diego, 298 hitter, 17 home runs. For Clayton Richard, this will be pitch 50 of his outing. And 2 down here in the third.
See if they go up and in here. No, Clayton Richard didn't like that.
Now they're going to talk about it. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the inning. Full count now. Goldschmidt now. The inning does continue. Chris Owings waiting on deck. And that's ball 4. He lost him. That's the first walk of the day allowed by Clayton Richard. Talked about all the scoring that the Diamondbacks have done. 15 of the 19 runs they have in the series. Coming with 2 outs, and here's a 2-out walk for Paul Goldschmidt.
Well, to me, you saw Chris Owings, his last at bat, shoot that right center gap. Franchi Cordero shifts over to that right center gap. A lot of real estate to cover in this outfield.
Owings with a double and a run driven in the first inning. Picked up his 35th RBI of the year. Finding his way in the lineup every day, whether it be in the outfield or the infield.
Yeah, it's been consistency. Last year had to play a lot of center field with A.J. Pollock's injury. A natural shortstop. And for Torey Lovullo, the versatility of this roster enables him to put him in the outfield.
Fly ball hit out towards right center field. Frenchy Cordero shy of the track, makes the catch. It ends the inning. Played 3. Padres have a 3-2 lead.
Top of the 4th at Chase Field, and it is the dad's trip for the Padres. So I'm here with Clayton Richards' father, Barry. Thank you so much for joining us. Kind of cool that you got to see him start.
It's amazing that it worked out that way, that actually, you know, on this trip that he gets to start, because we're all having such a great time, and this is just like a bonus on the trip.
Hey, give us some insight. What is it like being the parent of a child of a Major League Baseball player and you get to watch him here at the big league level?
I think as a father, you never get over that. Even if it was Little League, Bronco League, Pony League, you have that nervousness and just kind of like watching to see how well they do. And of course, you just hope for the best. And we're very fortunate to have such a great team and young team, and they're showing flashes of being able to play and compete with anybody and everybody on any given day. So that even makes it better for all of us here in the Padre fan section.
What has been your favorite part of this trip?
Spending time with Clayton, without a doubt.
What have you guys done?
Just spending time. We went to the pool quite a bit. We've been able to watch a movie together, going out to eat. I mean, just talking a lot. And, you know, once you get busy with your real life and your families, you just have a hard time being able to spend that quality time with your children.
I told you yesterday off camera how well liked he is and the leadership that he's shown, and you said good because otherwise I would ground him. Where does he get these traits?
Those are things that he grew up with, the rules, the structure, the discipline, how he was raised as being always respectful and kind and considerate to others. And so as an adult, he has just continued that, and he's been able to just be able to have the characteristics of somebody who you'd be proud of and expect to show those kind of, you know, mannerisms.
Well, it's just a testament to how well he was raised, I guess.
Well, you give that to his mother.
He just doesn't want to get in trouble from the wife.
Absolutely. Cindy has done a great job with all 3 of our children, and we're just as proud of all 3 of them.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I love the trip, and I'm very appreciative of the San Diego Padres management and ownership to make this possible.
Mark and Don, back to you guys.
All right, thanks very much. How great has it been getting to know him over the last couple of days?
It's been unbelievable, and I know this is going to shock you, but I had a lot of conversation with him at the pool, and he has worked on his tan.
Yes.
He literally said to me, he goes, make sure you tell my wife, Cindy, who's watching back in San Diego, that I didn't spend too much time in the pool. Well, I think he
Okay, here's the thing,
that.
though, okay? Where did you spend time with him?
At the pool.
Where did I spend time with him?
At the pool.
We weren't there at the same time.
I never saw you at the pool. No, but what a fun-loving guy. Very proud of, obviously, Clayton Richard and his career, but talked about his other children and the structure that they had growing up. And I know Barry didn't talk about it, but 34 years as a police officer in Indiana, and so much time that he has spent now a sheriff, and gets on the bus last night after the game and he hands us these commemorative coins with him on there. And listen, I'm on the bus waiting, and there it is. He gives us this. He said, make sure everyone on the broadcast team has these for us, and we thank him very much for his service, but also what he has done to try to structure Clayton Richard, obviously with a fun-loving personality. You see where the smile gets. He gets the smile from Clayton Richard. That's where he gets it from his dad, who loves the pool.
Well, this trip has been great. Father's trip here, and I've never seen it in the years I've been in Major League Baseball. I think it's great.
Yeah, as you said, it's happened a lot in hockey and other sports, and I think this is something to implement, because I wish I had it when I was going through the time, because my dad meant so much to me. And I think the point that I love, that what Barry said, is the conversations I had with Clayton, you know, in the room, away from the field. That's invaluable time.
Well, it is hard too. I mean, you're on your schedule, parents on their schedule, not living in the same place. That makes it tough too.
Yeah, I don't think people realize too. My mom and dad always made it on weekends, but there were very few hours I got to see them.
Well, Jose Perella, who had 3 hits last night, has his 2nd hit today. 3rd time he's been on base. Well, he was hitting at 321 at AAA. Call him up, and he continues here at the major league level to hit.
Well, slashed a double down the right field line the last time. You can see that right field approach and keeping on the baseball, but also that flat bat swing that he has.
So a 2-out base hit for Perella brings up Yangervis Solarte. Fly ball right field as Owings will move back almost to the track and then onto it, backpedaling to retire the side. Done with 3.5. It's 3-2 Padres. All right, Mike and Scott, thanks very much. On to the bottom of the 4th inning. Daniel Descalso leading it off.
You think Eric Thames is an all-star?
I got him as an all-star.
I do too. I love the stories of the game. Obviously, I wonder, coming over from Korea, if it was going to transfer. That's the signing of the offseason to me. because the Milwaukee Brewers are in first place right now, and he has had a lot to do with it. Remember, Ryan Braun's been on the disabled list a long time, and he has picked up the offense, and Craig Counsell has those guys playing hard.
I was disappointed we didn't get to see him all but one at bat for the 3-game series. The Brewers were at Petco Park in San Diego. He was sick all week.
Yeah.
Of that week, we didn't get to see him firsthand. Striking out is Des Calso. 4 strikeouts for Clayton Richard. One of the problems is the logjam at first base. As far as the National League goes, you got a lot of good NL first basemen.
Well, I think the first 2 are a definite. I think Mark Reynolds has definitely put himself in that category where how can you keep him off? And Joey Votto, always a perennial all-star, but Justin Bour is going through an injury right now. I think he's the short man out there.
Perella lined up perfectly defensively, and Brandon Drury retired 4-3, 2 down here in the 4th, and ground ball out for Clayton Richard. Always a good sign. 2 down here in the 4th inning. Time now for our Arco top tier player profile, and taking a look at Jake Lamb. Most RBIs this season, got 53, had 4 of them last night. And 2 more than Mark Reynolds of the Colorado Rockies, and their leadoff hitter Charlie Blackmon, who has 49 RBIs. And here is Jake Lamb with 2 outs. I know we've talked about Charlie Blackmon a lot, but how do you have that many RBIs as a leadoff hitter?
It's incredible, and I think he is going to start the All-Star game because of that. But I think in baseball, you're starting to see that leadoff position be reinvented, and they're inserting guys that have that home run power. George Springer comes to mind in the American League with the Houston Astros. And there's others that have really changed the thought process for a lot of organizations. So many years they were looking for the next Rickey Henderson.
Yeah.
Obviously Rickey hit the ball out of the ballpark as well, but they had that stolen base thought process, on base guy. Well, now they want thump.
Jake Lamb grounded out to first time up. He bats with 2 down, bases empty here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Grounding into the shift, Perella in short right. On to first, good stretch by Myers. Kept the foot on the bag, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Clayton Richard. To the 5th we go, 3-2 Padres.
Jim joining us. Ryan, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for
joining us.
Ready to dig in here.
What's the proper way to eat one of these crawfish? Because I'm really excited to learn how to do this.
Well, the first thing, you really don't want to mess around, you know.
Should we wear bibs?
No, it's just part of it. You're just going to have to just wear it if it gets on you.
Okay.
Well, that was a look at this week's episode of Padres POV. After Padres Live, the post-game show tomorrow night. Also featured is another episode of Between Two Bases with Ryan Buchter, this time featuring Hunter Renfroe. You don't want to miss it, guys.
All right, thanks very much, Michelle. It's on to the 5th inning we go, and Will Myers leading it off. Myers, Renfroe, and Hedges. Knows about crawfish, I can tell you that much.
Do you like crawfish?
I don't.
I don't like that process.
No.
I feel like you have to bathe after you're done.
It's like a mini lobster that doesn't taste like a lobster.
Now I like lobster.
Oh, I love lobster. Left side and through. Will Myers on base for the 3rd time. His 2nd hit of the day. So nice day here for Myers against Patrick Corbin.
Well, walk in the 1st, and then the next 2 plate appearances, sharp singles. It's a really good sign for the Padres. They need to get him on track, and he looks very comfortable today.
Lead runner on for the Padres for the 3rd time in 5 innings, and it brings up Hunter Renfroe, who's had a great day today, single and a double, and has driven in a run. 5 for 11 in the series. Padres out hitting the Diamondbacks 8-4 as they bat here in the 5th.
I see Patrick Corbin keeping a keen eye on Will Myers. Patrick Corbin is, since 2013, is tied for the 5th fewest in majors among active pitchers during that span. Only 7 stolen bases and 11 have been caught, keeping them close, controlling the running game.
Foul back to the screen, 2-1. Well, for Renfroe back in the 1st inning. Check that. In the 3rd inning, a double that would score Myers all the way from first base. A close play at the plate. Able to take third base on the errant throw by Nick Ahmed. Good throw, and Myers would have been out at the plate. Grounder foul, 2-2. 80th pitch coming up here for Patrick Corbin, working to his 2nd hitter of the 5th inning. Give up a leadoff single for Myers. Now 2-2 to Hunter Renfroe. In the air to center. Blanco coming in to make the catch. He started running sideways initially, but able to recover, make the grab, hung up long enough to recover, and Renfroe is out number 1 of the 5th inning.
Well, man, as advertised, because Patrick Corbin and his struggles in the 1st inning, he has been a different pitcher since that 1st. Really nibbling around the strike zone early in the 1st inning. Now he's settled in. Of his 80 pitches, 52 have been strikes. Most of those have come after the 1st.
1 out, 1 on, and Austin Hedges standing in. Hedges out ahead of this, drives it deep and far and up into the top deck. A 2-run single for Austin Hedges in the 1st. Padres jumped out of the 2-0 advantage. RBIs 29 and 30 of the year for Hedges. Third AB of the day, and a pop-up mile high. Catcher Iannetta discards the mask and makes the catch. A little stagger there at the end. 2 down. That never looks easy.
It's not something that a lot of catchers enjoy, because they have to find the baseball first, and it tends to always travel back towards the infield. As soon as it's popped up, you can see him looking for it, discards the mask, and watch it work towards the infield.
Now 2 down, Myers at first base. The years of watching teams take infield has gone by the boards. You don't see that anymore. Did they take it when you were playing at all?
We did.
Yeah.
And it was usually, at the end of my career, it's usually the first game of the series. And that typically is now afforded to more offensively driven. You see the Padres, especially when they go home, they take a lot of ground balls in place of that infield. Like, that's a dying art that I think a lot of people think the game has gone differently defensively.
There is Cordero taking strike 2. Why do you think it went away?
I think the timing aspects. I think people saw that the players weren't interested in taking that. But you know, I think it's all preference, and a lot of it has to do with not losing players.
Now striking out is Cordero to end the inning. Myers was running, but it's strike 3. 8 Ks for Corbin. 3-2 Padres. The Diamondbacks last of the 5th inning. Today's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. 110 National League pitchers made at least one start this season, and only 12 have tossed at least one complete game. It's amazing. Talk about a dying art that no longer happens on a regular basis. Clayton Richards got one of those complete games. There's a fly ball, shallow center. Darno out. Here comes Cordero, but it is Chase Darno, the shortstop, makes the catch. Complete game. It's just not part of the game anymore, it seems.
It's gone. And obviously the pitching performances, but maximizing the bullpens and how their teams and rosters are constructed, I think limits the opportunities for guys to do it, plus the pitch counts.
Well, Patrick Corbin struck out in the 2nd. Here he is in the 5th inning. Kind of yanked that down and away. Richard has retired 5 in a row. 9 of the last 10. Not to harp on infield, but I think fans love that. You know, coming to the park, it's after BP, yeah. You get close to game time and get a chance to see infield.
I loved it, especially the middle infielders, and watching the likes of Ozzie Smith and Omar Vizquel, those type of guys.
2 down here in the 5th.
MLB TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
2 down, 6 in a row, retired by Richard. Top of the order, Gregor Blanco. 0 for 2. He is grounded out to first, struck out swinging. Bunt bid. Richard will let it go, and Solarte can't handle it cleanly. Tried to barehand it, couldn't. And Blanco with a bunt single with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Solarte grabbing his back, or is it my imagination?
Yeah, it looks like he is slowly walking back to his position. Well, you watch this play, and Gregor Blanco lays down a nice bunt. The communication has to come from the third baseman. Solarte has to continue to yell. His aggressive play by Richard getting off, I think, enhanced that indecision from Yangervis Solarte.
So a 2-out base runner here for the Diamondbacks. He's just not look comfortable today as he was trying to stretch it out a lot.
Day game after a night game.
Chris Iannetta 0 for 2.
You know, you touched on the infield too. Those outfielder arms. Raul Mondesi.
Yeah.
Watching him throw the baseball.
Yeah.
You miss that type of thing. And I think a lot of third base coaches were out there watching the type of arms, the accuracy. Vladimir Guerrero comes to mind.
High fly ball to deep left field. Caesar going back at the wall, and it is gone. Chris Iannetta with his 8th home run, a 2-run shot, puts the Diamondbacks on top with 1 swing of the bat. A 2-out bunt single sets up the 2-run shot for Iannetta that gives the Diamondbacks the lead back.
Well, see the pitch. It's elevated, and he looks like a slider. Chris Iannetta elevates that baseball for a big home run for the Diamondbacks.
Now Paul Goldschmidt with 2 outs. Now we saw Iannetta come off the DL after he had been hit in the face with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And his first at bat was at Petco Park in his return, and he homered there.
Well, that's also 12 consecutive games for the Diamondbacks at home. They have homered 51 total. That was impressive coming off of that injury, showcasing that there was no nerves stepping into the batter's box.
Fouled off to the right out of play. Richard had been mowing him down. 10 of 11 batters before the bunt single with 2 outs in the inning, setting up the 2-run home run.
You don't see a lot of bunting in the game, and Gregor Blanco obviously picked the right time to lay down a bunt. Looked like it wasn't going to hurt him, and then Chris Iannetta comes up with a big home run.
In there for strike 3. Goldschmidt doesn't like it. Takes with him the 5th strikeout for Richard, but a 2-run shot for Iannetta. It's 4-3 Diamondbacks. San Diego now, so get ready for the top of the 6th inning and the draft right around the corner. Oh, check out the Padres Hall of Famers draft history. How did Tony Gwynn fall to the 3rd round?
I have no idea. And you think about Tony Gwynn, also Trevor Hoffman, the future Hall of Famer in Major League Baseball, 11th round as a shortstop out of the University of Arizona. It's not an exact science.
No. That's Caesar leading it off here in the 6th inning. 7, 8, and 9 for the Padres. Caesar 0 for 2. Right into a fielder's choice in the 1st, grounded out to short in the 3rd. This is always the busiest time of the year for baseball operations, this last week leading up to the draft.
Finer details when it comes down to it now. It's a full year job when you're talking about the Major League draft. Not wanting to make those mistakes, but background checks, what they've done obviously on the field has been scouted not only by one person but many, especially at the top of the draft. And as you know, Southern California, that's the hotbed of a lot of talent. So it's going to be interesting to see what direction the Padres go on Monday, having the 3rd pick in the draft.
You bring up an interesting point. It seems character really a big deal nowadays when you're thinking about drafting. It's something that maybe was not considered a great deal in the past. It is now.
Yeah, I agree with you, because you think about the molding a guy in your organization. Before it was more talent based. Here's a draft order as you take a look at it. Minnesota Twins, they are linked to Hunter Green, but also the starting pitcher for Vanderbilt, which I think it's your decision if you want a college pitcher or do you want a young pitcher maybe with more upside. A lot of decisions and important decisions for your future of the organization.
I'm going Hunter Green.
Oh, I was impressed with him the other night listening to that interview.
Chase Darno skies one down the left field line, headed foul.
I did read something today. Hunter Green's one of those two-way players. Throws triple digits with the fastball, but he wants to stay as a shortstop. So that might be a determining factor of what organizations think. Obviously the talent is there. A lot of factors going into it. Talent, as you said, how you are, and
to short, picked nicely by Ahmed to second for one on the 1st late. So soft liner that is picked on the half hop out there at short by Ahmed. They get Caesar 6-4 on the force out. Reaching at first is Darno. Kind of a surprise here. After only 77 pitches in 5 innings, they're going to pinch hit here for Clayton Richard.
Yeah, I agree with that because of the simple thought of the starting pitchers not going deep in the last 2 ball games.
Bush in the pen warming, and it'll be Alan Cordoba pinch hitting. Pitch count relatively low for Richard. 5 innings today, 77 pitches. Cordoba led off the first game of the series, coming off the bench each of the last 2 days, and batting here in Clayton Richard's spot. Richard had struck out twice.
Well, this just magnifies the importance of this offense, the Padre offense, to give a chance for Clayton Richard to get the W. I don't think he's too happy coming out of the game. He never is. And that's a great trait.
There's action for the Diamondbacks in their pen. J.J. Hoover pitching last night's game, warming up. There is Hoover. Corbin working here in the 6th inning with 1 out, runner at first, and Chase d'Arnaud.
Well, the adjustment that Patrick Corbin has made has been better on the glove side. Started off strictly on that arm side, but now you're seeing him to start to pitch in with the fastball and also the slider.
Runner goes, pitch is a strike, and the throw down to second is not in time. And we're going to have an interference here, it looks like. Batter interference. Cordoba may have been in the way of that throw, and that is the case.
I don't agree with this call, and Cordoba ends up bending over home plate. I think Andy Green's going to have a gripe here. You see him trying to jackknife out of the way. That is not even close. Chris Iannetta forced the issue if he did indeed made contact.
We'll put umpire Tim Timmons.
Well, he jackknifed out of the way of the pitch, which forced his momentum over the plate.
So d'Arnaud back to first. And Pirela coming up here as looks like Torey Lovullo coming out of the dugout. He will make the change here. So Corbin done after 5 2/3, responsible for a runner at first. It is 4-3. Diamondbacks have the lead, so Corbin leaves with the lead.
Fastball slider predominantly to right-handers.
Cordoba still frustrated by the interference call that was made. 2 unassisted on the put out, 2 down. And d'Arnaud at first base got a good sized lead. Zay Pirela's had a good game already, and he'll face the new pitcher in J.J. Hoover. I didn't see anything there that led me to believe that was an interference.
Yeah, that was a call that I think he's going to look back and say, I think he perceived that Iannetta made contact with Cordoba.
d'Arnaud's taken off, and he may get there. He does. Ball gets away, backed up on the throw, and he got such a good jump that he was still able to steal second base.
Well, what I like about Chase d'Arnaud here, he makes that decision to get a big jump, goes before J.J. Hoover, even lifts that front foot and continues on to second base. A lot of base runners in that situation will freeze and stay in the middle of the baseline.
So tying run in scoring position now with 2 down. Chance here for Pirela. And he'll take it high, 2-0. Ahead 3-0. Patrick Corbin went 5 2/3, responsible for d'Arnaud, who's at second base. 8 hits, 3 walks, 8 Ks. Pirela takes a strike. Strike 2. So Hoover battling back. It's 3-0. Full count now.
Well, 3-1 slider. That's confidence. You'll throw it 3-2. You might 3-1. You might as well throw it 3-2.
Pirela strikes out on a pitch down and away. Well, he does come back 3-2. Gets him on the slider. Tim Timmons about that interference call. Didn't think it was at all, and here's the play again.
Well, it looks like Chris Iannetta was trying to force the issue of contact. If he does make contact with him over the plate, yes, I think that's an easy call. But I think Andy Green has a gripe, and obviously he was afforded to look at video.
Kevin Quackenbush into the game here. Takes over for Clayton Richard. I was surprised to see Richard leave this game. He'd only thrown 77 pitches, but hit 4 in the bottom of the, or rather the top of the 6th inning. Quackenbush, 14th appearance. Chris Owings leading it off here for Arizona. Owings, Descalso, and Drury.
Last time out, Kevin Quackenbush pitched the first game of this series, 2 innings, 3 strikeouts. Thought one of his best outings to date.
Swing and a miss, and he makes quick work of Chris Owings.
Well, the feel for the breaking ball for Kevin Quackenbush, that is huge, and he is spinning it. Especially the other night. He even said after the game that felt like his best outing. That's the reason why. That is. His dad is also on the trip, performing in front of his dad.
One down here in the 6th inning brings up Daniel Descalso. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI single in this game. Popped up foul. Backhand out of play. Closed captioning for today's game is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Quack's dad.
Yep. Got to meet him last night in the lobby. A lot of proud dads, and they're wearing their Padres gear. Very appreciative to the organization and bringing him along the trip.
Daniel Descalso with a count of 2-2. Quackenbush up and down again this year to El Paso and hanging around this time for a little while longer, which is good to see.
It sure is.
He went around, and that is strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Quackenbush here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, what a combination when you think about that breaking ball, being able to spin it, but also pitching at the top of the strike zone with 2 strikes. Gets into the guessing game of hitters.
So 2 down here in the inning brings up Brandon Drury, who's 0 for 2 in the game. Drury struck out looking in the 1st, grounded out to second base in the 4th inning. Look out, and that one clanked off the helmet, it sounded like.
Now this fastball gets away. Let's see where it gets him. Right on that left shoulder. Dangerously close. Like it looked like he was trying to sit on that breaking ball.
So a 2-out hit batsman, and it'll bring up Jake Lamb. Padres going to go into a shift on the right side. There's Perella ducking back to short right field. Solarte coming from third base to the right side. Only Chase Darno on the left side. And sliding down in the order today to bat out of the 7th spot. Is grounded out twice, once to first, once to second.
Now this is when you got to be aware of the stolen base. This Diamondbacks team is very aggressive on the base pass, but especially with a lead.
Fouled off, 1-1. Diamondbacks begin the day 2 games back of the Rockies in the NL West. Winning the first 2 games of this series and improving their home record to a major league best 23-8. They'll be welcoming the Milwaukee Brewers to town beginning tomorrow. So more home games for this Diamondbacks team. Quackenbush struck out Owings and Descalso to begin the inning before hitting Brandon Drury. Now being careful with Jake Lamb. 3-1.
You got to be cautious here. 17 RBIs against the Padres this year, tying Steve Finley, former Diamondback and Padre.
Ball 4 and he loses him. So a hit batter and a walk has 2 men on here for the Diamondbacks. Walks have been a problem in this series, not so much today. That's only the second walk allowed by Padres pitching.
You got to be careful here. Nick Ahmed, very dangerous, especially that first pitch. Aggressive style, especially after you walk Jake Lamb. Got to be a quality pitch here.
On the ground up the middle, softly hit. D'Arnaud will flip to second. No. No play anywhere, and the bases are loaded. So an infield hit back up the middle.
Well, it looks like he did indeed want to flip this. Watch the exchange. He doesn't get it out and cleanly enough, but he's aware of that guy rounding third base.
The pitch hitter is going to be David Peralta coming out here. Who's not on deck. The home plate umpire Tim Timmons went over to the dugout, so you got to get somebody out here. So Peralta going to pinch hit in the pitcher's spot, where the base is now loaded with 2 down. Sap it quickly. Peralta 299, 4 homers and 12 runs batted in. That is the day for J.J. Hoover. Drury at third, Lamb at second, Ahmed at first. Two quick strikeouts for Quackenbush to begin the inning of Owings and Scalzo. He hits Drury, walks Lamb, allows the infield hit to Ahmed. Fouled off, 1-1. Silvino Bracho back up warming again for the Diamondbacks. Looks like he'll be coming in. Bracho had been up earlier.
Oh, good fastball there by Kevin Quackenbush. Previous 2 fastballs on the outer part of the plate. This one painted inside, ties him up, sets him up for the breaking ball.
Evens up at 2-2. Bases filled with Diamondbacks, 2 down here in the 6th inning. Quackenbush trying to keep this a 1-run deficit for the Padres right now. Peralta fouls it off, and we'll do it again, 2-2. Hedges headed to the mound.
Well, with the importance of this pitch, Austin Hedges wants to get on line, and sometimes catchers will go out there and previously talk about the pitch that they want to execute, not even put a sign down. Eliminating that opportunity to transfer a sign if they do that.
Peralta up the middle into center field. A base hit. From third comes Drury. Lamb is behind him. 2 runs in for the Diamondbacks. All of this coming with 2 outs again for the Diamondbacks. Doing their damage with 2 outs in the inning, and they take a 6-3 lead.
Pitch by pitch, and you see the fastball on the outside part of the plate called the ball. Then he attacks with 2 fastballs, 1 on the inside part. I thought it set him up for the breaking ball at that point. He continues to throw the fastball, and that last fastball down, Peralta with 2 outs. It's 2 huge RBIs.
First and third. 2 down. Gregor Blanco, top of the order. Ball 1. Blanco, after grounding out and striking out, and a bunt single his last time up, and scored the 3rd run. Came around on a 2-run shot by Chris Iannetta in the 5th inning. Three and 0. Ball 4, and he walks him on 4 pitches. Second walk of the inning allowed by Quackenbush. Reloads the bases.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Darren Balsley out there. And Chris Iannetta coming up. I just told you about his home run last inning. And the 8th member of the Diamondbacks to bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kirby Yates now up in the pen. Two down, bases loaded again. Four grand slams for Iannetta in his career, and a .329 average in this spot. Almost hit him, and it's 2-1. Next pitch will be the 30th of this inning for Kevin Quackenbush.
Now the game's starting to speed up a little bit for Quackenbush. He's got to slow himself down. It's got to be a quality pitch here.
Iannetta on a check swing, upset with himself. Evens the count now, 2-2. That protective guard on his face. We mentioned hit by a 93-mile-an-hour fastball earlier in the season.
I think more guys are going to start wearing those, but it's everything to do with comfort level. Giancarlo Stanton also does. You're seeing more and more guys wear that protective device.
Towards the gap in right center field. That ball is going to get down and roll to the track of the wall. Ahmed is in. Peralta is in. Here comes Blanco. Bases clearing double for Chris Iannetta. And this game is wide open as the Diamondbacks have taken a 9-3 lead. How about Iannetta, who is now driven in 5 today?
Well, the Diamondbacks continue to terrorize the Padres with 2 outs. It's been a consistent theme these last 3 games.
Five-run 6th inning so far. Paul Goldschmidt with a runner at second. And a liner to right field. Renfro's not going to get this. It's going to go into the corner. Around from second comes Iannetta. He'll score. It is a double for Goldschmidt, an RBI, and it is now a 10-3 Diamondbacks lead.
Now good hitting by Paul Goldschmidt, hunting that fastball on the outside part of the plate, committing to the opposite field. Big innings for the Diamondbacks last night. The bottom of the third with 5 runs. This one today.
So they bat around. And Chris Owings, who struck out to begin this inning. It's his second AB of the inning. And Quackenbush struck out Owings and Descalso back-to-back to begin the inning. And then he hit Brandon Drury. And then the run started. 6 to this point in this inning. 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Owings strikes out for the second time in the inning. But the damage is done. 10 men bats, 6 scores, 10-3 Arizona. Game summary. What started well for the Padres. They get 2 runs in the first inning on this single by Austin Hedges at plates 2. Up 2-0, but back would come the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the first inning as Chris Owings would drive in. Paul Goldschmidt. Then a 2-run home run for Chris Iannetta, who's just getting started on the day. Come up with the bases loaded last inning and plate 3 this time, clearing the bases. All part of a 6-run bottom of the 6th inning. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, who now have a 10-3 lead. Played Richard leaves the game after 5 innings, and not sure why, but just 77 pitches he was hit for, and is on the hook, giving up 4 runs in 5 innings. And Patrick Corbin, of course, started this game, pitcher of record right now for the Diamondbacks. And big day for Chris Iannetta. So Vino Bracho into the game now.
He's recalled from AAA today, the 4th time he has been up at the parent club. See his numbers at AAA. 1.53 ERA. Dominates right-handers.
And Hervis Solarte leading it off and taking strike 1. Solarte had a single back in the first inning, scored a run. 1 for 3 day today. That's a fly ball to right field, pretty deep. Back goes Owings. It'll take him to the track, but plenty of room. 1 down in the 7th inning. Second time that Solarte is flying out to the warning track in right field today. One out brings up Bracho to field. Will Myers here standing in. Myers 3 for 10 in the series and 2 for 2 today. Fouls it off to the right, out of play.
Oh, you've seen the timing now of Will Myers. He starts getting locked in. Everything seems like it's in sync. What I mean is that lower half and exploding at the same time his hands are.
A 4-mile-an-hour fastball from Bracho. Corbin went 5 2/3, giving up 3 runs. J.J. Hoover faced 1 batter. So Jose Perella struck him out too in the 6th inning. Now Silvino Bracho into the game with first out of the way of Solarte, and here's an 0-2 pitch. And Myers strikes out looking. Knew it. Takes with him the first strikeout for Bracho. So 2 down here in the 7th inning. The day after the Padres score 5 or more runs, get 50% off any regular menu price online order at papajohns.com. Enter promo code Padres5. 2 down here in the 7th, and it brings up Hunter Renfroe. He has singled, doubled, and flied out to center, driven in a run. Off balance cut right there for strike 1. In this series, the Padres have had 24 hits. The Diamondbacks have had 24 hits. The hits are equal. The runs are not, in a pretty severe way. 27 runs for the Diamondbacks in the series, 9 for the Padres. Same amount of hits. But many more runs for the Diamondbacks, 3 times more runs.
Yeah, and a lot of those Diamondbacks hits came with 2 outs. Also coupled with the walks.
Walks have really been the problem, I think.
I do too. And most of those walks have come with 2 outs as well. That's devastating. But those 2-out RBIs will crush you if you're on the other end.
On the ground to short. Ahmed slides to his left. Throws out Renfroe. Padres down in order. 7th inning stretch. 10-3 Arizona.
Smell a little blood, and they get an opening and they pound through that. And you know, obviously we can hit home runs with the best of them, and that's the high side of things. But we can keep tacking on and building on innings and really creating moments for us to score runs, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy offensively about this team.
That's pretty much exactly what we just saw. They had an opening there with 2 outs. They hit batter, and all of a sudden, the next thing you know, they're scoring 6 runs.
Yeah, there's a couple attributes that watching this Diamondbacks team you have to commend. They don't give up at bats, and that is contagious throughout the lineup, no matter if you're getting a spot start or guys that are in that lineup all together. 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position.
Now Kirby Yates into the game, 3rd arm use today by Andy Green. 18th appearance. First start of the year with the Angels, now a Padre.
Well, he pitched the 8th last night where he struck out the side.
Quackenbush went an inning, giving him 4 hits, 6 runs, walked 2, hit a batter, and struck out 3.
You know, Dom, I worry of this club, and especially this series. It indicates that the taxing work that this bullpen has done. Miguel Diaz is getting the start on Saturday from Andy Green, so you reduce an arm out of that bullpen, and wonder if this has lasting effects moving forward. Always a difficult sign, and probably going to use their surplus in AAA.
Well, that's what makes Clayton Richard coming out after 5 innings so surprising today. I wonder if there was an injury of some sort.
Oh, I hope not. You know, because he was efficient today. Those 77 pitches, 53 for strikes. As we said at the top of the game, the importance of him going deeper.
This is deep to right field. Renfroe going back and at the wall. That ball is gone. Descalso. 5th home run of the year adds on for the Diamondbacks on top 11-3.
Well, let's watch the 5th home run of the year for Descalso. Known for loving the fastball, only coming in today hitting .216. Getting much needed at bats for Torey Lovullo, and this offense continues to impress.
Now Brandon Drury, who was hit by the pitch last inning with 2 outs, and that's what opened up the floodgates for the Diamondbacks. Oh, swing and a miss, evens the count at 1-1. Kirby Yates pitching here in the bottom of the 7th inning. To right, Renfroe makes the catch on the liner. Drury is out number 1 at the bottom of the 7th inning. It's time now for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Joey Votto 4 for 4 with a home run. Part of a win against St. Louis. Dallas Keuchel back on the DL with neck discomfort. 9-0 record, 1.67 ERA and 11 starts, but back to the DL again.
That's not a good sign, especially everything has gone right for the Houston Astros. And as we showed earlier, Joey Votto making that push for the All-Star game.
Lester making the start tonight for the Cubs, 3-0 at home so far this year. Jake Lamb batting with 1 out, bases empty. Padres in a shift as strike in there for Yates. 1-1. There's the shift. Perella in short right. Solarte coming from third base, right side of the infield. Yates falling behind here. 2-1. 2-2. Padres with leads of 2-0 and 3-2 in this game. Now trailing the game 11-3. With the Diamondbacks batting here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Strike 3 call. Lamb is frozen, and that is the first strikeout for Yates. 2 down here in the 7th. Now tomorrow night, Padres will be returning home. Take on the Kansas City Royals. Eric Skoglund getting the start, matched up against Jhoulys Chacin. Jhoulys looking for win number 5. Get you started at 6:30 with Padres Live. Kansas City Royals in town for 3. 2 down, Nick Ahmed with a swing and a miss for strike 1. Kansas City 4.5 games off the pace in the Central, so well, they've not had a great start. Still in the mix in the AL Central.
Yeah, no one's going away in that division.
Even the White Sox last place, 5 games back.
I think the surprise in that division has been the Cleveland Indians because of the talent. Obviously going to the World Series last year, you wonder if that's a hangover effect. Corey Kluber was on the disabled list. Now he is activated. A lot of people think that Cleveland, once they get going, will run away with that division.
This one fouled back. 1-2. Well, the Minnesota Twins not expected to do too much this year, and they've been atop the division for the most part.
You got to commend Paul Molitor for getting those guys ready to play. I always try to make sure that people understand that when your talent level and the expectations are down, you have to motivate certain guys. And Miguel Sano has been a great story for the Minnesota Twins, playing third base and powering the baseball.
Foul back above us. Silvino Bracho has come out on deck. This is only one career plate appearance. And just coming off a 1-2-3 7th inning on the mound. So gets that far. Looks like we'll be seeing Bracho at the plate. Ahmed batting with 2 down, bases empty here for the Diamondbacks, who have scored a run here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Fly ball, shallow left. Darno out, Caesar in, and Darno will make the catch that ends the inning. Leadoff home run by Daniel Descalso has Arizona on top 11-3. All right, Mike and Scott, thanks very much. On to the 8th inning. Some changes here for the Diamondbacks. Jeremy Hazelbaker takes over in left field. Daniel Descalso moves from left field to first base. Paul Goldschmidt out of the game. Silvino Bracho back on the mound again, and Austin Hedges leading it off here for the Padres. Hedges 1 for 3 with the 2-run single back in the first inning. And now 30 RBIs on the year. Strike call. It's not been a save situation in the series for the Padres. There's a drive to deep left field, down the line towards the pole. It'll be a home run. Austin Hedges. That's his 12th home run of the year. And we'll see here whether they're going to challenge this or not. Right down the line by the pole. So make it 11-4 if it is indeed a home run. Umpires are getting together here even without a challenge. So we'll see.
Well, you wonder if they saw something immediately. That's why they're getting together.
That's a foul ball. And the umpires are saying so. So no challenge, no review, just a foul ball. Umpires got together as a group. Call made by the third base umpire Clint Fagan. Clint Fagan, who had the plate last night, making the call down third base line, but overruled by the rest of his crew. And a loud foul ball for Hedges. So 1-2 the count to Austin Hedges. Look at the foul ball called a home run. Swing and a miss, and Hedges ends up striking out. Second strikeout for Bracho. One down here in the 8th.
Saturday, it's a great day for baseball on FS1 and Fox. It all starts with the Royals battling the Padres at 1 p.m. on FS1. Then on Fox, the Orioles take on the Yankees at 4 on your local Fox station, or can watch it live on FS Go.
One down here in the 8th. And Cordero going the other way for a base hit into left field. Hazelbaker will get it back in, but Franchi Cordero with a 1-out single after he had struck out 3 times in this game.
I think Cordero is just happy that Patrick Corbin left the game.
Yeah, Corbin had 8 Ks and 3 of them belonging to Cordero.
That's a nice swing by the center fielder going the other way.
Incidentally, 11 strikeouts in this game for Diamondbacks pitching. 1 out, 1 on. Matt Caesar, the batter. Caesar grounded into a fielder's choice in the first, grounded out to short in the third, walked in the 6th inning. In the air as the second baseman Drury backpedaling. 2 down in the 8th. That'll bring up Chase Darno. For 3, has struck out swinging, grounded out to short, reached on a fielder's choice, and then stole a base. 0 for 7 in the series. And another start at shortstop today for Darno. Ryan Schimpf has come out on deck if we get that far. To bat in the pitcher's spot. Brandon Maurer was warming up in the bullpen. Well, big 6-run 6th inning in this game for the Diamondbacks. Middle innings tough. 5, 6, and 7. 2 runs, 6 runs, and a run. They lead at 11-3 here with 2 outs in the 8th. To third, and beautifully picked by Lamb. The throw is going to be close and in time. What a play by Jake Lamb. First to pick it, then to throw it and get it there in time. Wow. Game, and Peralta pinch hitting in the 6th inning, right in the middle of the 6-run inning. And with the bases loaded, sending this back up the middle, it would score 2. 6th and 7th runs at the time for the Diamondbacks. They tack on 4 more, and Torey Lovello's squad with an 11-3 lead here to the bottom of the 8th inning. He's going to have Ray Fuentes pinch hit here in the pitcher's spot to begin the bottom of the 8th inning against the new Padres pitcher Brandon Maurer.
Brandon Maurer making his first appearance in this series. Really the only fresh arm down there.
And a strike over the outside corner. Wholesale changes here for the Padres defensively, along with Maurer. Pirela moves to first base from second base. Ryan Schimpf is now at third base, where Spangenberg is at second. And Luis Torrens doing the catching as striking out as Fuentes. Begin things here in the bottom of the 8th. There is Pirela at first base. That was an emphatic strike for strike 2 from the umpire. 1-2 pitch going to miss high. Fuentes, who started last night's game in center field. 2-2. And it's lined to left center. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Leadoff single by Fuentes here in the 8th.
Center field, Gregor Blanco.
Top of the order, Gregor Blanco coming up. He is grounded out, struck out, bunt single, and a walk in this game, and he has scored twice. Bauer taking over for Yates, who worked the 7th inning, allowed a home run to Descalso. So 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run. Didn't walk anybody and struck out a batter. Bauer, the 4th arm used by the Padres. Played Richard on the hook, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. Walked a batter, struck out 5. Came in 4 and 6. Outside for ball 3.
A 2-1 changeup.
Strike called. Blanco didn't think so. He's kind of getting out of the way, and it grabs the corner.
It looked like Terens was set up on the outside part of the plate. Goes all the way across to get this fastball.
There's ball 4, and down to first base goes Blanco. First 2 have reached here for the Diamondbacks in the 8th. So 2 on, nobody out, and Chris Iannetta coming up. He's had quite a day. And a 2-run home run in the 5th. Bases clearing double in the 6th inning. A 5 RBI day for the Diamondbacks catcher. That home run now has 8 on the year. Line, a fair ball down the left field line to the corner. Fuentes coming around to score. Trying to score from first base is Blanco. He will. 2 more RBIs for Chris Iannetta. 7 on the day, and a 13-3 lead for the Diamondbacks.
Now back-to-back doubles for Iannetta. Pulls his hands nicely. That's when you know things are going well. This is a ball off the inside part of the plate. Easily scoring is Fuentes, and behind him is Blanco.
So 2 quick runs here now for the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 8th inning, who have a 13-3 lead. And Jeremy Hazelbaker, the batter. First at bat for Hazelbaker, took over in left field. For Iannetta, 7 RBIs today, and that's a career high for him. Fly ball foul off to the left out of play. Fourth batter that Maurer has faced. Give up a single, a walk, and then the 2-run double. Now a liner towards left center field. A gapper. It's going to get down to the track of the wall. Iannetta coming in to score. RBI double for Hazelbaker. 14-3 Diamondbacks.
this Diamondbacks offense is on full display, especially these last 4 innings. 96 mile an hour on the outside part of the plate and shoots the gap for Jeremy Hazelbaker.
Darren Balsley out there to talk to Maurer. There's action in the Padres pen. Ryan Buchter is now up and warming. Hazelbaker at second base, still nobody out, and Chris Owings the batter. Fifth at bat of the day for Owings. He had a tough time in the 6th inning while his team was scoring 6 runs. Struck out twice in the inning. But did have a double back in the 1st inning. Fouled off, 1-2. Let's revisit our keys to the game. Brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, Padres offense early. They did score 2 in the 1st, but also Jose Pirela was nabbed at third base, wondering if it could have been more in the 1st. And Clayton tames the Snakes 5 innings, only 77 pitches. Did pitch very well, in my opinion. Gave up that home run to Chris Iannetta. Got taken out with the bullpen being taxed.
Fouled off to the right out of play. Still 2-2. Pitches so far for Maurer in the inning and has not recorded an out yet. Swing and a miss, and may have gotten a piece. He did. Hangs at 2-2. $14 runs, 14 hits, an error for the Diamondbacks. 3 runs, 9 hits, and an error for the Padres. In the dirt, and a full count to Chris Owings. Last 4 innings, they've been putting together some runs. Have the Diamondbacks, 2 in the 5th. 6 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 3 so far here in the 8th, and a liner down the left field line that is a foul ball. And we'll see here whether or not the Diamondbacks want to challenge this. Down the left field line, it was close. Into the dugout, Lamelo's got his hand up, and he will not challenge. Appeared to be the right call. Line down the left field line. This time it is a fair ball to the left field corner. Hazelbaker coming around to score the 15th run of the day for the Diamondbacks. It's an RBI double for Chris Owings and a 15-3 lead for Arizona.
Well, 3 straight doubles for the Diamondbacks. Chris Owings, after the double in the first, his second double of the game. And out goes Andy Green.
So a pitching change from Chase Field in Arizona, 15-3 D-backs. Arizona on top of the Padres, and Eric Ibar going to make another appearance here for the Padres.
It's been too many times that he has pitched. And you see the last time, April 18th versus the same Diamondbacks. Third of an inning, 3 pitches.
What are we waiting for?
Now batting, first baseman, David Descalso.
I don't think Ibar took any warm-up tosses, did he?
A few.
Oh, he did. Not sure what he was standing out there waiting for. There's ball 1 from Ibar. Daniel Descalso facing Ibar. 4 runs so far in this inning, all charged to Brandon Maurer. Did not record an out in this inning, so plus inning. 4 hits, 4 runs so far. Walked 1, did not strike anybody out. Ibar falling behind 3-1. And that's ball 4. He walks Descalso. Ibar pitching earlier this year.
Second baseman, Brandon.
At the time, he was at shortstop when he was told he was going to be pitching. That was also against the Diamondbacks.
Guess getting Chris Herman to ground out, having a little fun.
Here's Brandon Drury. 0 for 3 today, but hit by a pitch back in the 6th inning, and that opened it up. And with 2 outs in the inning, and would get hit, and then Diamondbacks went on to score 6 times with 2 outs in the inning. Fly ball right field. Back goes Renfroe onto the warning track to make the catch. That is the first out of the inning. Tagging and moving to third base is Owings. Not much on baseball etiquette and unwritten rules, but your thoughts on that? Is that okay?
No need to go the extra base, and it's usually on the third base coach too. Tony Perez Chica probably having a conversation, but yeah, I think always respecting your opponent.
So first and third now, and a swing and a miss for Lamb.
Kind of think of that. It's not something that you have to be told. It's one of those things you don't want to necessarily step on their neck, so to speak.
12 runs and a position player in the game pitching, you would think would be enough. Ground ball to second. Spangenberg to second for one, on to first for two. Double play induced by Eric Ibar. Nicely done again. 15-3 Diamondbacks. By Petco, where the pets go. By Buick. And by Jerome's Furniture, where Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. Back in Arizona as we head to the ninth inning with the Diamondbacks in control of this one on top 15-3. And TJ McFarland now comes into the game for the Diamondbacks. Fourth pitcher of the day for the Diamondbacks. And his 12th appearance of the year.
Well, he's pitched 7 scoreless innings in his last 7 appearances.
Eric Ibar getting the double play, getting out of the inning. Nicely done.
How about that effort? Fly ball to right field and inducing the ground ball.
Luis Torrens leading it off here. Torrens to be followed by Perella and Solarte scheduled to bat in the inning. Ray Fuente stayed in the game. He is in center field. And Blanco moves from center field to right field. Defensively for the Diamondbacks here in the top of the ninth inning. Torrens hits it on the ground to shortstop. Nick Ahmed throws off the mark, and reaching will be Torrens. As Calso tried to make the pick and then apply the tag and couldn't do it. Torrens will reach at first base.
It looked like Nick Ahmed juggled this baseball, took an extra step. Maybe he didn't grip the ball, but up the line goes Descalso.
Third charge to Ahmed on the throw. So he's 6 and it brings up Perella. Take strike one. Walked in the first, doubled in the second, singled in the fourth, and struck out swinging in the 6th inning. So a 2-for-3 day with a walk. 5 for 10 in the series. A 3-hit night here last night. And down to the count 0-2. Ryan Schimpf be on deck here for the Padres. So Vino Bracho went 2 innings pitching the 7th and 8th for the Diamondbacks. 1 hit, no runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 2. 11 strikeouts in the game for Diamondbacks pitching. And make it 12 as Perella strikes out. Time now for the Carl's Jr. star of the game. And how about Chris Iannetta with 7 RBIs in this game? A home run, 2 doubles, and 7 RBIs. New career high for Chris Iannetta. Batting in the 2 spot for Torey Lovullo.
All came on his last 3 at-bats as well after 2 ground outs in his first 2 at-bats.
Ryan Schimpf will roll one towards first base as Calso's got to hurry, and he will beat Schimpf to the bag for the out. Almost a collision there. As Torrens takes second base.
You see Descalso getting that ball and then trying to take it on his own. You typically don't see that first baseman go into the baseline.
So 2 down in the 9th. Corey Spangenberg coming up. Torrens ended up at second base. Ground ball right side. Brandon Drury at second base on to first, and that will end the ball game. So a 3-game sweep for the Arizona Diamondbacks of the Padres, and today a 15-3 victory for the Diamondbacks as they wrap up this series. Send it to Mike Pomerantz. Mike.